Well guys, today I'm here in my garage with my Tesla Model 3 and it's time to talk to you about this. This is an all aluminum X-rack that basically is a cargo rack that's kind of designed specifically for Teslas. Now you could use this on other vehicles as well, but it's designed to fit in the Tesla trunk. It's designed to be ultra lightweight, so you're not bogging down because you do have a limited capacity of how many pounds you can carry on your hitch, no matter which hitch you add to your vehicle. Even the ones that come with hitches from the factory, you do have a limitation, and this rack helps remedy that by reducing the weight down into the 30s. All aluminum design, pretty awesome. So let's talk about the X-rack. Okay guys, welcome back to techgooch, and today, like I said, we're talking about the X-rack. Now, on the Model 3, you can't get a hitch from the factory, so we're really going to start talking about hitches. There's a lot of different, not a lot, there's a few different hitches you can add to the Model 3. I added the stealth hitch, which this is the receiver portion that you can add to it. So I do have my panel removed down here so I can click this into place real quick. But I want to talk about this one specifically because with the stealth hitch, you get the stubby little guy that it doesn't go all the way through. So there's actually solid metal back here. So there's only so far you can actually insert a device or an accessory into this. So it tends to put things further away from the vehicle. So I wanted to talk about a modification I made. It's in the video, the modification I made. Essentially, I cut 2 inches off this receiver. Now, thankfully, with how the holes all lined up, there were 2 holes in it that were about perfect, that if I cut 2 inches off, I basically get this guy sucked into the vehicle the best possible. And the reason I did that was not a requirement for installing this. This would install just fine without doing that. But my thoughts and everything, we're getting everything as close to the vehicle as possible to help out with wind resistance, so I have less of a degradation on my range. I can't say how much of a difference it made because I didn't test it prior to doing that. But we just got back, well, we had a over 3,000 mile trip that we did with this rack on the entire trip, all the way down to the Gulf Coast, to New Orleans and back up here to Iowa, big roundabout. And I did not notice a real degradation of my range much at all. I'm sure there was probably a 5% or so, but it was so negligible that I didn't notice anything. So 4 people in the car, this rack, fully loaded, the bag that comes with it, basically a cooler with a bunch of drinks in it, and then a bunch of camping equipment along with it as well. Kept it watertight with that. So I'm gonna actually stick this in my vehicle real quick so we can actually demonstrate. I forgot to pull the rubber grommet out. There we go. So with this down here, and if you're interested in the stealth hitch, I have a video off of that, like I said, and I'll put that link in the description. Now, I'm not going to show you how I built this because I have a video for that, but it does come with a actual bolt with a cotter pin to make sure the bolt never loosens up and falls out. The nice thing about this is that the hitch itself is not going to rattle. It also does come with this. This is the actual wrench that you would keep. I kept in my trunk, essentially to take on or off this rack, which we did when we got to the hotel, things like that. We only took it off, I think, one time. When we got to our hotel, our final hotel down in New Orleans, we took it off for them to go take it and park because it was valet parking only at that hotel. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this into place, and I'm gonna bring the camera a little different. So you can see here right now, I basically have this guy sucked in as far as it would go. Essentially, that's exactly where I have to have it for my pin to go through right now because of the little bit that I sawed off of this guy. Before, it was closer to that, so it was sticking out from the vehicle further, which basically puts my edge, what I mean by edge, is this edge, this far out edge that's far away. You can actually see that I did scrape it on one instance. It was a parking lot that did this big divot, and I did scrape it just a little bit. But essentially, you insert. It does have, this cobwebs, look at that. It does have a lock washer and stuff. And once you get it in there, there is a nut inside this guy itself. I'm gonna go ahead and get this on real quick. So the beautiful thing is, because this is nice and tight now, because it is a bolt, it's not going to rattle at all. We didn't have any noise at all from this rack. So it's basically part of the vehicle once you have it all tightened up. Pretty awesome in that regard. And size-wise, it's not huge. You can see it's not gigantic by any means. It's definitely narrower than the vehicle, which helps with wind resistance. It worked perfect for our trip. The thing about this guy is the weight and its design, because literally when we got to the hotel down in New Orleans, I unbolted this, pulled it off, lifted it up, slid it into the trunk. This is designed to fit right in the trunk, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But I want to demonstrate at least what it looks like with the bag. So you'll see here in a minute, but it does come with 2 standard friction straps that are long enough basically that go around and tie the bag to the actual rack while you're driving. Now I don't have anything in here right now, but this waterproof bag, you can see how it actually has a square bottom. It's designed to fit in this. You fill up with your goods, and then you take the strap. What we did is I would start by taking the strap and working its way down here. So there's a hole right here. I would go around back the exact same portion over here, and then go through these D-rings through the rack as well, or through the bag as well as up front, and get that cinched up nice and tight. Now I do have some video of it actually being on the vehicle while we're using it, but this bag was nice. But the beautiful thing about this rack is that you don't have to use this if you don't want to, right? We used it, basically I have a cooler that I was originally going to just strap to the rack, but it actually made sense to use the bag because we wanted other stuff, just loose stuff from camping. So I basically put the cooler in the bag and then just threw a whole bunch of stuff on the far side. Now the cooler I used is extremely lightweight cooler. It's actually a rigid foam. It's pretty awesome. I'll put a link in the description for that as well, because I thought it was perfect for this because of the weight. It's all about weight with this. If you can make sure everything that you put on this is as light as possible, you can maximize how much stuff you can get on it. And that's the big thing, right? Now, depending on your rack weight or the hitch weight and everything like that, with the Model 3, you're 250 pounds, I think, is the max. But of course, the further you are away from the vehicle, the less of a weight that you can put on it. So if I can get it as close to the vehicle as possible, like I did, it reduces the wind resistance coming over the vehicle, but also increases my weight capacity on the actual hitch. So yeah, that's that. Now I wanted to show you what I mean by it fits the Model 3. It also fits the Model X as well and the Model Y perfectly. Let me show you that. So the first thing I'm going to say real quick is it does come with that wrench that you use to tighten it down. So you can actually remove the bolt that's down here and take this piece out even and get this to lay flat. But as you can see, it's designed to fit in the trunk. Now, what I actually did is to be honest about it, I didn't put this in the trunk. I actually put this in the back seat. What I did is the bag that had all of our camping stuff, and not all of it, but a good chunk of it, as well as the cooler, everything, this bag fits back here as well, full, right? As long as you're not, I mean, to be honest, this bag is designed to fit in this vehicle. So it fits, it went right in, cooler in here and everything. So literally I unstrapped it from the carrier, slid it into the trunk, took the carrier, and I actually put that in the back seat. It worked perfectly. Now, people look at this, and I actually posted some pictures while I was on our trip, and they said, wow, I can get a cheaper rack on Amazon. I can get a cheaper, I don't need to spend that much money on a rack like this. And hey, I understand. Everybody has different budgetary concerns, things like that. But there are things that when it's designed for a specific purpose, it's designed to fit this vehicle perfectly, and the weight and setup is exactly what you kind of want for a vehicle like this. I am 100% on board with the X-Rack. So this is the cooler I was talking about. It's a rugged road, outdoors, hard foam. Really, really lightweight. This isn't a video for that specifically, but you know what? It pairs really good with this rack. So just to demonstrate how I had it set up for the trip, cooler on the left, and then I had just stuff. This is just a blanket to show shape at least. Had stuff, a bunch of camping stuff here on the right. Now with the bag itself, you have heavy duty water resistant zippers, and then you have Velcro. Basically you kind of fold over the top, and then you have Velcro to hold that down before you actually, and there are 2 zippers to go, one to go each direction, and then you strap it to the rack. So this is what it looks like, just real quick with the straps on it. The straps are actually going around the bottom of the actual cargo carrier itself, so the bag is strapped to the carrier, and then it's not, I mean, it's not gonna fall off, it's not going anywhere. So we just finished up our long journey over just shy of 3,000 miles with this guy on the back. And we only had one time where we actually scraped, and it actually scraped right here just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. But all in all, I took the straps off already, but this thing has been fantastic. So in closing, my thoughts specifically on the X-Rack, I love it. Really do. If you're a Tesla owner, Model 3, Model Y, Model X, if you're a Tesla owner and you're looking at adding a cargo rack, 100% this is a rack that I would highly recommend. It's not the cheapest rack out there, but it's designed for your vehicle. It really is. Fits it perfectly. We had 0 issues with it. It is great for how quick and easy it is to pull off the vehicle and store in the vehicle. And it worked perfect. You know, as the kit, everything comes as it is, real quick and easy to set up. The only thing that I changed is not something that you have to change, but I wanted to pull it as close to the vehicle as possible, so I made a slight modification. I will link to that video where I actually made that modification, so check that out. But look, X-Rack, awesome. And they make accessories for this. I'm hoping to maybe eventually show some of those as well. They have like fishing pole holders. I'm not on 100% all the accessories they make, but I will put a link to X-Rack's website. So take a peek at their product. You can order this direct. I have it in black. They also have it available in, I think it's white actually. I'm a huge supporter. I think to be honest, after about 1,000 miles of actually of roadworthiness on it, now that was the other thing I want to say is backing up to charge, I had enough space. I actually could have backed up probably another 6-8 inches and still had enough space to get my vehicle plugged in. And even with room to spare, we are supercharging. So after about 3 or 4 backups to charge, I really didn't even need anybody to really spot me unless there was a specific charger where there was things right in the way. But even with this much space behind it, I was easily able to do that. So yeah, if you have any questions, please comment below, or head over to ShoeGeek or techgooch.com and you can get a hold of me directly. But I'm a big fan of this. I really am, and I'm super glad that we have it. And I'll be honest as well, the Stealth Hitch that I'm using with it, I'm also a huge fan of. So X-Rack, check it out. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I'm sure I'll do another video about maybe some accessories coming up in the future, but awesome, awesome cargo carrier. Thanks for sticking by to the end here, guys, and we'll catch you back here on TechGooch for another future video review. We'll see you soon.